Good morning. It's Facebook Live Day, and I'm Therese, and I'm coming to you from the hammock today because I have a conversation that I'd like to share with you, and I want it to be somewhere that was comfortable and cozy, and that I could feel comfortable sharing from my heart. Um, so, today we're going to talk about brand loyalty, and but it might not be this talk that you've heard before. Because I have a few different ideas about this that I want to share with you, from a place of peace and not from a place of war. And it seems like we have enough turmoil happening right now around the world, and I just want to find little ways in our lives that we can be more peaceful, in our thinking and our thoughts and how we think of others and how we judge others, and how we connect with others. So, uh, first, before I started getting my notes together, I do have some notes today so that I can try and stay on task. I went to my emotions book, and I looked up some of the emotions that maybe I was feeling around this issue of brand loyalty. And so I grabbed this book, and I think I've used this book before with you. And it's called Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. So it's a really good way, if there's some emotions that you're going through, to kind of look it up as a reference. So it has a whole bunch of emotions. And then it talks about the other side of that emotion, how a way out of that emotion, what oil to use, and where to apply the oil on your body. So I find it really, really helpful, if I remember, if I'm going through a situation that is really emotional, and I'm able to recognize what that emotion is. Using the book, I find, is very helpful and very supportive in that way. So one of the things that comes up when I think about brand loyalty, and when I start to notice how I feel when other people are using an essential oil, or maybe another product that I prefer but a different brand, and what happens inside of me. So I was noticing that, just with acquaintances, nothing, nobody really personal to me, who was using a different brand of essential oils, and immediately I noticed something flaring up inside of me, and I was like, "What is that? What is happening?" Because I'm a pretty die-hard Young Living person, and I really like my oils, but why am I getting these feelings of just resentment and disdain, and feeling better than somebody else, or maybe not feeling good enough, around other people using other brands of oils? And this is really a funny thing, because my oils are supposed to be supporting me, to be in a place of peace and love and acceptance. That's where I want my oils to go. So I noticed these emotions, and then I went to the book. So I looked up not good enough, and the other side of that is acceptance. And the expression that I can say is, I express my best. And the oil that is really helpful is humility. And I don't have humility, but two ingredients of humility are frankincense and ylang ylang, and I do have those. So I did those ones instead, and I applied them to the points that the book suggested, and just really breathed in deeply, so I'm sitting right now working through the feelings of not good enough. And then another feeling that was expressed when I kind of thought about, when I think I'm better than somebody else. There's a misperception that's happening in my thoughts and my feelings. And so I'm missing some understanding, or acceptance in that situation. And so I have the acceptance oil as well. So I applied that, and I applied it right across my chest area, just a drop. And the expression that I said was, I let go of my perspective. So acceptance is a wonderful oil that I've been using in all different situations when I think things should be going my way and they're not. Acceptance is the one I tend to grab to just get back to that space of flow and ease and acceptance of what is happening, because that's what reality is right now. So back to brand loyalty. How does this all impact brand loyalty? And so I'm sitting now in a place of openness and feeling good, and willing to be understanding and willing to be open. So some of the ways that that my thoughts and feelings impact. So those feelings that I was feeling when somebody else was using another oil is that the way that I grew up was in a way that was very much one way, our way. It's the best way. It's the only way. And so in those types of thinking, when I think I have the only way, I have the right way, then there is no other way for anybody else. And it puts me in a perspective of going, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm good, you're bad. Or us versus them. And in my Young Living business, I don't want to be in that spot. I don't want to be, I'm right and you're wrong. I want to be, wow, we've all got a wonderful perspective and we're all doing our best and we're all learning. And so how can I still share what I believe and what is passionate and truthful for me without getting into that I'm better than you. So in my oils, when we're choosing our oils, I think it's really important, some baselines. So this was my first conversion kit to my Young Living oils, and I had been using oils for many years before I started using Young Living oils. So different brands I had used, but I used them just kind of sporadically, not really consistently. And they were great, but there was something with Young Living and me that really connected and that really drew me to the oils on a regular daily basis. It was like every day I was using the oils, whereas the other brands, I wasn't. And I don't know why. It wasn't, whether that vibration just didn't mesh with me as much as the Young Living, whatever it was. And I don't want to judge that. When I found Young Living is what clicked for me. And so that's why I share it. But I'm not saying that those other oils are bad. They were good at the time that I used them. But there just was something for me, something small missing that I really love about the Young Living oils. So I came across another oil in my cupboard the other day that was from the past and another brand, and I looked at it and I'm like, I have another brand in my home that's not Young Living. What am I going to do? And I'm like, well, let's just smell it. Let's crack it open and smell it. So I did, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, Young Living doesn't have this particular oil. There isn't an oil like that in Young Living, and I smelled it and I really liked it, and I'm like, okay, well, do I dump it out because of my brand loyalty, or do I still use it because it's still a good product? So let's think about that one. So first, when I want to make sure that we're comparing apples to apples here, and so that means that if we're judging an oil based on whether it's good or bad, there are some general guidelines to go with, and that is do your homework. So, and if you don't want to do your homework, then follow us on here or follow other groups that have done the homework already for you. So we want to compare things that are similar. So things that are similar quality. So if we're going to, just like, if you're going to compare a Chevrolet to a BMW, they're not really the same price point. They're not really the same quality. You can clearly say this one is better than that one in some regards because they're a different market. And so when I'm talking about brand loyalty, I'm talking about products, oils that are of similar value. And so that means looking at the price point. So if you see a frankincense that's $3 on the shelf, that's not the same quality. You're never ever going to get a high quality frankincense oil for $3 for a bottle. So that's kind of a good indicator. If the prices are around the similar range, then that's a good place to start. Look at the growing practices of the companies that you're looking at. What are their stewardship practices? How do they grow? Are they sustainable and they're growing? Do they have organic growing practices? Can you visit where the products grow? Kind of like the Portlandia. Have you ever seen Portlandia, where the chicken, the couple's gone for dinner and they want to have chicken, but they ask the server, where was the chicken grown? Was it a happy chicken? And then they end up leaving the restaurant and going and visiting the farm. Okay, so this is a little bit extreme. I'm not really talking about that kind of extremeness. However, if you wanted to, could you ask those kinds of questions and could you get the answers that you were looking for? What's the testing that the oils go through? What are the guarantees? Are they tracked? So does the company know what's happening with that oil right from the seed? Because the seed is what grows eventually grows the oil. So it's important to know where those seeds come from, all the way to distribution in the bottle and all the way to you. And so, oh, is it called? Kathy just mentions it. It was Colin. Is that Colin from Portlandia, or was it Colin the chicken? I can't remember. And also, are the oils pure and undiluted? So you don't want to be buying an oil that's half oil and half a chemical additive that's lowered the value of the oil. So check that out. Check the ingredient list. What's in that oil? So compare. So when I'm talking about brand loyalty, it is Colin Chicken. Kathy says yes. That's awesome. I'm talking about comparable qualities. Yeah. And then I started to look up about other areas in my life that I have practiced brand loyalty. And am I as rigid about my brand loyalty with Young Living as I am with some other things that I buy? And I was trying to think about that, and I don't really know. I know that our family really loves Subarus. So we have one Subaru. And our second vehicle, we would love it to be a Subaru, but they don't happen to have a vehicle size that we need to accommodate our family. So if they did, we probably would. We would have two Subarus. And I really love them. But I don't go to my neighbor and say, you don't have a Subaru, therefore you are bad and I am good. It's just a personal preference. And I've researched, and that's what works for me. So where in my life do I practice this kind of brand loyalty? I do know that Young Living actually helps me practice brand loyalty because I get rewarded. So when I share oils, I'm definitely paid very nicely, and there's no other company that will pay like Young Living will for me sharing and referring people to buy the same thing. Kathy says, who doesn't have a Subaru, Nelson? They have two as well. It's true. Subaru is the car of Nelson. We've all kind of fallen into that, into that. I don't know what it's called. Preferences, I guess. They're awesome. They're great for the Kootenays, for our mountain roads. So yes. Now where was I? Loving my Subaru and loving my Young Living oils, and also Nego coffee, and I like my Fairies Pajamas clothing. So there are some things that I do prefer, but I don't get all high and mighty about other people who don't have those things. And this is where it kind of gets kind of funny with oils. It's like this doctrine that we subscribe to, and it ends up causing that strife inside of me, and I don't want that to be there. I want to have peace, and I want to have acceptance of where everybody's at and be able to share from my heart. So what happened to that oil that I found in my cupboard? So I smelled it, and it was really quite yummy, and the name of the oil really intrigued me, and so I kept it. I haven't used it yet, but I kept it because maybe that will be my reminder to not be so judgy about others, to share what I love, and to encourage others to use Young Living, of course, but not to be so judgy when it doesn't work out the way I think it's going to be. And to find peace with that all. And really, when it really boils down to it, what is my ultimate goal? As I want to empower people to use oils to enhance their personal, spiritual, and wellness and well-being. And if they're not using a Young Living oil and they're using another oil and it's doing that for them, isn't that reaching my purpose? Isn't that what my goal and my intention is? Find the love, find the peace, find the joy, and share it from my heart, and try to live with that acceptance and not expectations. So, do you agree with me? Do you not? Are you a diehard brand follower of anything other than Young Living? And outside of oils, are you like, it's this or nothing? Where do you sit with this? I'm just really, processing, and still, of course, deeply in love with my Young Living oils, loving to share them, and loving what they're doing for health and wellness of my life. So I think that's my rant for the day. And I am teaching a live class on Saturday, this coming Saturday in Nelson, BC. If you are here, I would love for you to come and join me and listen to me matter on again about my passion about oils. We'll be making a peppermint cooling spray to get us through the end of the summer, and just gathering together in a pretty cool environment. If you haven't joined my group yet, check out my group, RDYL Therese, on Facebook. And I'm glad you joined me today for my Facebook Live, and I hope I haven't ruffled too many feathers. And please comment below your thoughts and feelings about this kind of topic. It is an issue, and I want to follow the peace. All the best to you. We will see you again next week. Bye-bye.